familiar with this area, but I was warned that this could be a question, so I checked. So that seems to be true for the US. It's apparently not a European phenomenon, but in the US you definitely do see an increase in concentration across, basically at least 75% of the economy, and also an increase in a more generalized notion of concentration that takes into account minority shareholder holdings in multiple firms in the same industry. That has grown a fair bit because of these institutional investors. You also see in the U.S. economy a huge increase in stability. That is to say, both entry and exit rates have been decreasing in the United States. What else? There's also direct evidence on markups. Basically, all the studies, and they use a number of different methods that measure markups, whether they be average markups, sort of operating profits relative to, I guess, sales, or whether they be marginal markups. That is to say, some sort of attempt to measure the discrepancy between price and marginal cost. Both of those have been rising over time since the 1980s, with a little bit of a pause in the 2000s, and then a steep increase over the last about 10 years. Again, this is something that is seen across the entire economy. It's concentrated among the firms with the largest markups. So if you imagine having a distribution of the markups, then the middle and the left tail would look to be more or less the same across years, but the right tail, the guys with the highest markups, that's been getting more mass more recently. And market share has been moving towards the firms with the largest markups, okay? And it's interesting to note that that's American data. I'm not familiar with anything of that sort that's been done with European data. But it's very important to note that we're seeing concentration and markups moving together. Both of them are There's also this funny phenomenon of that people are becoming more concentrated in their buying habits. So if it used to be that you'd buy your food from 10 different firms, now you're buying your food from 5 firms, and somebody else is buying from those other 5 firms. Okay, so there's a whole story about that. What I don't think we have a good grasp on is, what are the causes of this growing concentration and growing markups? So the leading subjects are, of course, technological and antitrust. And there's also a demographic story that has to do with the people, the concentration in your own buying habits. Well, let's leave that aside. But it's hard to break those out. So there is a claim that the stock market is valuing mergers more highly than before, that they jump more upon mergers than they used to. That's not, I don't know how you know that that's market power versus efficiency. Perhaps at best what that's telling you is that we're no longer seeing those bad conglomerate mergers that were, undone in the, I guess, the 1980s or so. But that's what's, we still need to do that unbundling, or that explanation. But I think that what's interesting is that if you do have a technological explanation, it's very important to note that the increase in the markups, and I guess also let's just say about the markups, as I said, is going across the entire economy. Okay, so it's not just that we're seeing that among the more technological firms, let's say, or industries. We're seeing that also in retail, okay? Now, of course, you know, that's probably because the big supermarket chains have become teched up. So that's an interesting aspect of it. So that's what I know to tell you.